It has been 5 days now since Stella passed, and I mean, it's also been a very tumultuous 5 days with, Sammy sneaking out and running away.
Stella, Splash, Simba, Boo, Sammy, Richard, Nancy, Goldie, Ziggy, Ringo, Eva, Hydrox, and Ditto, the Lucky Ferals.
Good morning, Boo. How are you, Boo? It is almost 8 a.m. I just got up a little while ago, and hopefully I'm doing better today. So far I am. The traps are still outside, and I was looking at the security camera footage from overnight. No animals were around at all from 3 a.m. until this morning now, except for a few birds once the sun came up. But I could see my neighbors walking their dogs, and they'd be looking at the trap in front of my front steps because it has a bright blue blanket on it. At night you wouldn't notice it, but during the day people are curious about it. I placed another Instacart order. I've never done so much Instacart in my life. And this time I ordered a bunch of cans of sardines in oil because supposedly those are the stinkiest bait you could possibly use. I also ordered some more frozen shrimp, and that's for me because I'm almost done with the shrimp I ate yesterday. And if I could actually stomach that and it makes me feel better, I'm just going to eat more of it today. I've only had it for one meal a day. And then I also ordered some fried chicken, some cold fried chicken, which I'm going to heat up because according to information online and people that trap cats, they say the two items that they use to trap the most difficult cats are Kentucky Fried Chicken or sardines in oil, specifically in oil. Here's Simba. That's his favorite spot recently. So last night, I think it must have been around 1 o'clock in the morning when just before I was gonna lay down on the couch and try to sleep between trap checks, Simba got so many pets and he got so many kisses on the head, right, Simba? And this is where he was laying at the time, and he's just super happy here. And that is one of the most comfortable sleeping bags ever. And it's just a cheap Coleman from years ago. And here's Splash. How you doing, Splashy? I wanted to talk about anxiety today because obviously there are many different types of anxiety and it manifests itself in different ways. And not everyone's anxiety is the same. The anxiety that I've been dealing with is 95% physical. It's just a physical response to my experiences and the situations that I have been in. And it's my body's physical response to the stressors. And it's manifesting as anxiety. The anxiety that I am feeling is from the neck down. I do not feel anxiety from the neck up. My thinking is not filled with anxious thoughts. Occasionally, I might have some kind of negative anxiety-inducing thought, but it happens instantaneously with regards to the physical symptoms. And a lot of people want you to believe that anxiety is only a mental illness, but that has never been my case. Whenever I'm dealing with anxiety, it is always physical for me, which is why I'm able to manage it through vitamins and rescue remedy and those flower essences and things like that. And I know if that is the case for me, that is also the case for many other people. I'm not saying it's the case for everyone. I'm saying it's the case for many other people, or at least some other people. And if you try to look that up online, you're corralled into the thinking that anxiety is purely mental, especially through AI. And that's what I hate right now. Anytime I Google anything, especially on my phone, the first result I get is AI generated. And the vast majority of the time, it is wrong. But I am old enough and experienced enough to recognize that it is wrong. It makes me very worried for the younger people who are more inexperienced who will not know that it's wrong and will just like blindly listen to it. So that is very, very concerning. But I feel the need to put this information out there. Some people might be offended by this information. Some people might get upset by this information. I don't care. I'm sharing my truth. I am sharing my experience. My experience of anxiety is that it is a physical issue. I feel it from the neck down. Can I try to control it through the use of thoughts? Yes, I can somewhat control it through the use of thoughts. It will not totally go away by thinking differently about it or by trying to change my thoughts to make it go away. I can use my thoughts to deal with it the same way that I can use my thoughts to deal with like a cold or a flu or any other illness. Like say I had food poisoning. I could use my thoughts to get me through that in a positive way, or I could use my thoughts to get through that in a negative way. So it's the same thing with the anxiety I'm dealing with. And that's how, if I try to change my outlook on it, say, oh, I'm not anxious, I'm excited, it's not going to work all the time and it's not going to really have an effect on it because it's not mental. I could tell myself it's okay to feel this anxiety and just continue to, go on with your day-to-day activities and just try to eat even though you're nauseous. But that's the same exact things that I would tell myself. If I had a flu, for example, and I was nauseous, I would still have to tell myself, okay, well, you feel horrible, you're nauseous, but you still have to eat. Or if I had the flu and I was weak and extremely fatigued and I didn't know how I was going to get through my day, I would still have to tell myself, okay, well, you can do it. You just have to get one thing accomplished today. You just have to move slow. You have to do little things. It's the same exact thing, at least for me. And no one considers a cold or a flu a mental health issue. So that's why I say that not all anxiety is a mental health issue. Some of it, for some people, may be. But I am a person where I feel the anxiety in my body. 95% of the time, it is not triggered by some kind of thought process. And I am explaining that my anxiety manifests as a physical issue. It's 8:47 a.m. Here's Boo. I put the toys on for them. I have to vacuum over here. I am starting to get my energy back, right, Boo? I actually feel really good right now. I'm starting to get my energy back. I'm starting to just, feel like I'm getting back to normal. And I know this is only temporary. I know I'm not going to feel like this all day, but I feel like it right now. So I'm going to take it. If I feel like this for 5 minutes, I think it's great. If I feel like this for a half hour, that's even better. I still need to take a shower. I stink. I smell so bad. It's those darn ketones. I'm still registering as like a small amount of ketones, not a trace amount, a small amount. People say that if you find ketones in your urine, anything more than a trace amount, it says that like your body's not utilizing them. So it means your body's making ketones, but it's not actually utilizing them as fuel. I don't know how true that is, but I do know that if you're losing weight and your body is burning fat, it's generating ketones. So yesterday I had between 1,200 and 1,300 calories, which has been the best day so far. So today I'm going to try to get even more calories than that. So far this morning, all I've had is some grape juice. How you doing, Boo? How you doing, Boo? But here is what I have to keep reminding myself, because this is the mistake that I made 2 days ago. I was starting to feel better and get my energy back, and then I went out and I overdid it and I ran myself into the ground again, and I can't do that today. So even though I'm starting to feel better, like I might let myself do something like walk into my neighbor's yard and look under their deck to see if Sammy's there, but I'm not going to be doing like anything strenuous. I'm probably still going to lay on the couch and work on my computer today. Yesterday, I laid on the couch, but I didn't get any work done. Like, it was no working. It was just like laying on the couch and just trying to feel better. Today, because I'm feeling a little bit better already, I'm going to actually try to be productive while I'm laying on the couch. But that's my goal. I need to, continue to rest and relax and just focus on my personal care, as well as, whatever the cats need. But I'm just so happy to be moving in a positive direction, and I hope I can continue to move in this direction. Another thing that I realized this morning, when I got the phone call from my neighbor who's walking their dog, and they said that they saw Sammy. Actually, I don't even know if I told you this. So, because there was a lot going on at the time, I had to revise the Instacart order, and then Grandma Farrell called me. So what happened was I got a phone call on the Sammy hotline, and it was somebody walking their dog. They said that they saw my missing cat. So I said, oh, where did you see it? And then they mentioned like a street corner. And I was like, when did you see it? And he goes, well, right now I'm walking my dog. And then he gave me a house number. And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, I'll be right out. Thank you so much for looking out for the cat. So I rush around and I grab my coat and find my boots, and I'm ready to go outside. And then he texts me a photo, and it's my neighbor's cat. Now, my neighbor's cat is like dark gray and white. So, people keep mistaking my neighbor's cat for, Sammy, who's a little tuxedo, which is black and white. So as soon as I saw that, I said, oh, no, that's my neighbor's cat. Thank you so much for looking for her, though. I really appreciate your help. And he apologized also. And, I thanked him again. So that was disappointing. But when he told me he saw Sammy outside and, where, because it was so close by, I got excited. And the excitement I felt is nothing like the anxiety I've been feeling. Nothing like it at all. So I'm sorry, that theory of being able to turn anxiety into excitement, that just, to me, it doesn't hold water at all. It was a completely different bodily sensation. And also, the anxiety I've been dealing with, I get chills and I get shivers and I literally shake. My whole body literally shakes. I never have gotten that when I've, been excited about anything. I've never gotten chills of excitement. I've never shaken from excitement. That just has never happened to me. So that blows another hole in that theory. It's 9:20 a.m. and I just got out of the shower and realized that I forgot to mention a key point of why my anxiety is physical and not mental, and why I'm sure the same can be said for many other people. So these are adrenal glandulars. It says adrenal cortex, and this is adrenal support. These are herbal capsules, and then this is a glandular. This is made from dried adrenal glands. I know that sounds horrible, but it's really no different than eating chicken liver or chicken hearts or something like that. It's just made from adrenal glands. And the reason why glandulars are taken is to strengthen that particular organ. So I've been taking these every day. I find that the glandulars work best for me if I'm having trouble eating and if my digestion is off. Then I'll take the adrenal glandulars. These also work in conjunction with the herbs. So if I wasn't going through this extreme anxiety and stress, I would take these if I was working on my adrenal glands. These are just herbs. The adrenal glands are two small glands and they sit on top of each kidney. So you have one on your left kidney, one on your right kidney. And what they do is they produce adrenaline and non-adrenaline in response to stress. They increase your heart rate, they increase your blood pressure, they increase your alertness. I think everyone knows what it feels like to have a rush of adrenaline. So it's all well and good when you have strong adrenals. They take care of your body the way that they're supposed to. The problem arises when you have weak adrenals. And if you have weak adrenals, like I currently do, then you can have the following symptoms. You could have fatigue, you could have muscle weakness, you could have weight loss, you could have low blood pressure, you could have a loss of appetite, you could have an upset stomach, nausea, vomiting, depression, irritability, anxiety, body aches, joint pain, headaches, reduced immunity, and digestive system upsets. So that's everything that I've been dealing with, and it is because of the weak adrenals. And I just wanted to explain this to provide further information as to why anxiety can be a physical issue and not a mental issue. It's 9:39 a.m. Here's Boo. I am getting ready for my day. I'm getting dressed, and I just realized something that I think is very important and very key to Stella's situation. And that is the fact that vets do not have to serve a residency at all. Doctors, like medical doctors for humans, have to serve a residency, but vets don't. And the average length of residency training is about 4.5 years. I mean, it could be anywhere from 3 years to 7 years, but they say on average it's 4.5 years. That is years of practical hands-on training to educate a doctor to be able to work independently. Vets do not have that, but vets need that. So for a medical doctor to practice independently, they have to finish medical school, then they have to complete a residency program and pass their board exams in order to be able to practice independently. Vets do not have to do that. All vets have to do is finish veterinary school. That's it. And the fact that vets do not have to gain this valuable real-world hands-on experience is why we have vets who've gotten their veterinary degree within the past few months or within the past few years who have absolutely no idea what they're doing. They are completely unqualified, and they are actually harming and killing our pets. Never go to a vet or see a vet without first knowing when they got their veterinary license. That is something that I've learned from Stella's passing. That is something that I would never even really think of or realize, because I would think that they would have to serve some kind of residency or gain some kind of real world hands-on experience. But the fact is that they don't. And the fact is that many of these new vets, if you look at their social media, if you look at what they're posting online, they all think they know everything. I can tell you firsthand from someone who has hired employees, not in the medical field, but in like business fields, the vast majority of recent college graduates always think they know everything, but they don't. Even in the business field, we never hired anybody based upon their education. We always hired people based upon their experience, even if it was just internships and part-time jobs while they were in school, because we knew with 100% certainty that just because somebody has a college degree does not mean that they have the necessary real-world experience that they need in order to fulfill a position. The same applies to vets. So as I think about this, it just makes me so mad. Here's Simba. And on top of it, to not only not have to do a residency, but to be hired to work in an emergency room without any applicable real-life experience. I mean, that is just mind-boggling. I'm getting the food out of the traps, and it is all just like frozen solid. Look who we have. We have the neighbor's cat. The neighbor's cat was sniffing the Christmas tree. Now the neighbor's cat's hanging out in the yard. But where's Sammy? These are the 2 hand warmers that I had out in the traps. I had one in each trap underneath the plate of food. I put these underneath like a plastic storage container, and then I put the food on top of the plastic, and then these kept the food warm and not frozen. But, you know, after time, they go dead, so I have to recharge these. And then today on Amazon, I ordered 2 more. So hopefully then when I get the other 2 from Amazon, I'll always have 2 available at all times. So like when 2 are in use, 2 will be charging. It's 10:33 a.m. and here's Simba. I just went outside and baited the traps. I heated up some sardines in oil, and I put half a plate of those in each trap. I also put a trail of the sardine oil like down along the middle inside of the trap. And I went over to my neighbor's yard with a bag of Temptations and Sammy's spider toy, and I looked underneath their deck. So it's not really a deck, it is a wheelchair ramp. It's the size of a small deck because it's just like not a wheelchair ramp going straight outside. Like it goes along the house and then it turns, and then there's another parallel ramp down to the ground level. So it is the size of a small deck. I literally got down on my hands and knees and I was looking underneath it. There's a lot of leaves under there. And in some areas, like the decking is very low. it is definitely a place where a cat can curl up and stay warm in the winter. Because, you know, cats usually use like straw in a shelter, like Ox has been using the shelter that has straw in it. There are so many leaves under this deck that a cat can easily crawl up there and stay warm. So that makes me feel better. Also, they have what looks like one of those really old barbecues from the 50s that people used to have, like made out of solid brick. Like it's a brick barbecue. That's what it looks like to me. And then on each side of it, there's actually like a cubby hole where cats could easily be hanging out and stay out of the elements. You know, there's leaves and just debris in there, but there's plenty of room for a cat to stay warm and dry. So that's another little hidey hole, but she was not in there. And then I looked in a few other locations in the yard. I did not see her anywhere. I did not see any signs of her. But just due to the fact that there are quite a few places in that yard where she could be staying, you know, somewhat warm and dry and out of the elements, I do feel better. Because if there's a few places in that yard, I'm sure there's places in other yards that she could also be staying in. The goal is to get her back to this yard, though, and the goal is to get her into the traps. So that's why I'm hoping the sardines work today. And I'm going to keep making sure that they don't freeze. Right now it's only 30 degrees out. Then later I'm going to cook up some of the fried chicken. Now I know Sammy loves chicken, but rotisserie chicken has not been working with her. So we're going to try fried chicken and see if that works. While the OG4 are eating their breakfast, I thought I'd show you the color changing litter. So over here, this is where Boo peed last night. You know, it was actually like buried, but I was curious to see like what color it was. So like I scooped it and exposed it. Now today we can see it's yellow, but last night, because at night it was different lighting, it looked like there was no color at all. It looked like just like the regular color of the litter. But this is how this color changing litter works if you've never used it before. So that's like a normal color. Yellow, light yellow, or even like an olive green, like a yellowish green, indicates a normal color. If this was like an orangey yellow, then that could indicate like overly acidic urine. If it was red, it would indicate blood in the urine. I think there's a darker green or a blue that indicate different qualities to the urine. So this is actually a useful tool. It is kind of expensive. It was more than $20 for the bag, and the cats don't want to poop in it. That's the problem that I have with quite a lot of the litter that we try. They'll pee in it, but they won't poop in it. And that's what they're doing with this litter. So I do have the clay litter in all the other litter boxes. This was just an experiment. Today it's much easier to eat. So I've already had a hard-boiled egg this morning, but now I'm going to have another hard-boiled egg, a little bit of turkey deli meat, and about a half cup of baked beans. Everything tastes good, which is good because I don't have the like bitter metallic taste in my mouth right now. And I'm just gonna slowly increase the amount of food that I've been eating. I'm checking the security camera footage and look at this. Look, there's a cat in Sammy's bed. That's Ox, otherwise known as Cousin Oliver, sitting in Sammy's bed. He's not there right now because this was from a little while ago. This is from like 20 minutes ago. Why can't Sammy be in her bed? Like, where is Sammy? It's about 12 noon. I am sitting on the couch working on my computer, and I feel so calm, like I could just close my eyes and go to sleep. That's how tired I am. So I'm checking my pulse oximeter, and my pulse is getting back to normal right now. We're down at like 62, and my oxygen's at 100, which is great. So we're making progress. It's a lot better than where it was a few days ago. Oh my God, guys, look at this, look. I just woke up from a nap. It's almost 3 p.m. I took a nap at 12:30. And look at Ox, Cousin Oliver. Look how happy he is. Look how happy he is in that bed. Oh. I thought it was Sammy. I honestly thought it was Sammy. So when I woke up from the nap, I grabbed this phone to look at the security camera footage, and I looked at this and I said, oh my God, it's a black cat. That's Sammy. So he's been laying in the bed since 1:21 p.m. Here's Nancy. She's been taking a nap on the couch a few feet away from me. I can't believe what a good nap I just got. Like, oh my gosh, that was an amazing nap. It was like a delicious nap. It was so good. I'm so happy that my body is starting to like relax more. Like, I totally understand why the cats love it here, because this is what they do every afternoon. They take amazing naps like the nap I just took without a care in the world, because I was like, you know what? I don't care about work. I don't care about videos. I don't care about anything. The only thing I care about is just taking care of myself. And it was awesome. What I was working on right before I fell asleep is a recording of Ziggy meowing and purring. Like, so when I was in the kitchen, she was meowing at me a lot. So I put my phone on the floor and it was recording audio. Then I said, I'm going to make like a recording of it and I'm going to play it outside and see, maybe it'll attract Sammy. Maybe she'll recognize Ziggy's voice or something, because I can't get them in a carrier. I tried putting Ziggy in a carrier. She flipped out. I tried Nancy yesterday. She flipped out. Unless I try it again. Unless I try Richard. Unless I try to play with them and get them to jump in there on their own and just kind of shut them in. But I figured, let me try a recording first. I was going to put like a Bluetooth speaker outside and then just play it on that. And I extended it to like an hour. So I was going to play it outside for an hour and see if it brought Sammy around. Now, because I don't have any food outside other than what's in the traps, I was fully expecting Ox to go down the street. Like, go down the street to where the other women are feeding you. And that way, you know, Sammy will not be uncomfortable, like, coming on the patio or anything. But he's settled himself in on that cat bed for sure. And now it makes me think, you know, do I give him a cat bed? It would be either in the doghouse shelter or in the shelter with the straw underneath the house. It's 4 p.m. and that is a Bluetooth speaker on top of the trap, and it has a recording of Ziggy meowing on it. It's a 1-hour recording. So let's see if it attracts anyone over there. It is 4 p.m. and here's Boo. And I want to tell everyone who's watching this that if you feel like really bad and you're having a really bad day, just keep going. Just get through that day. Because the next day might be a whole lot better. Today is so much better than yesterday was. Yesterday was a bad day. The day before yesterday was a good day. And the day before that was a bad day. So out of the last 4 days, I had a bad day, a good day, a really bad day, and today's a better day. It's a good day so far. You know, it's not like the best day, for sure, not by a long shot, but it's a better day than yesterday was. I mean, I still have a ways to go until I have like great days. But today is such a difference than yesterday. So don't give up. Just keep moving forward, doing what you need to do, even if it's the bare minimum of what you need to do. Make very small progress, or maybe don't make any progress, but just maintain, you know, the status that you're at, and rest and take care of yourself, and then move forward to a new day. Because a new day gives you lots of opportunities. And it is amazing what a few good hours of sleep can do, right, Boo? It is so important. Sleeping well and eating well are so incredibly important. Right, Boo? I just had my tapioca for the day a little while ago. I swear by that stuff as far as making me feel better. I got my Amazon order, and so these are 2 sets of hand warmers. These are USB rechargeable, so I have to plug these in and charge them up. And then once they're charged, I can put them on and they generate heat, and I can put them underneath a food bowl in the trap, and it should be able to keep the food warm. So I'm going to charge 2 of these up. And I also got my flower remedies. I did not expect all of these to arrive today, but they did. I have my Rock Rose, Star of Bethlehem, Olive, Sweet Chestnut, and White Chestnut. The rock rose, it says have courage, Star of Bethlehem, neutralize grief, olive, restore energy, sweet chestnut, be optimistic, and white chestnut, calm the mind. Even though my mind is calm, this has other properties other than doing that, and I bought this in the hopes this would help calm the body because that's what I really need. So I'm going to take these out of the boxes. I just took 2 drops of each of these, and the first thing I thought when I took the first one was, okay, these have definitely changed because these taste like sweet syrup, and that's not how these taste. These taste like an herbal tincture. Herbal tinctures are normally made with an alcohol base, so these are like 27% alcohol, but you're only taking 2 drops. These, I'm only taking 2 drops, but they're made with a glycerin base. These taste like a medicinal syrup, if that makes any sense. They're just like a completely different texture. I just hope they work. If they work as well, that's great. This is a self-heating pet mat, and this is what I'm going to put in the Rubbermaid shelter for Ox because I've seen him in that shelter recently. And also because he enjoyed laying in Sammy's cat bed so much, he laid there for hours today. This self-heating mat is supposed to have some kind of material inside of it that reflects a cat's body heat back onto them. It's also a lot more comfortable for him to lay on than the straw. Now, some people are concerned with, you know, this freezing, this retaining water, stuff like that. I've never had an issue with that because the shelter is located in a dry area underneath my house. Even if a cat does track in a little bit of moisture on its paws, the fact that this heats up, you know, with his own body heat, like helps to dry up that moisture. Nothing's going to be frozen on this in that shelter. So I'm going to do that right now before it gets dark. Here's the Rubbermaid shelter. So I am going to have to drag it out. It's actually supposed to be resting on this wood, so it's not on the cold ground, so I'm gonna have to like reposition everything. This is what's going on in here. There's actually insulation on the bottom, and it looks like he's made himself a nice little nest in here. This is actually a really good fit right now, so he could come in either of those doors, curl up in there. He should be super comfy because now instead of insulation just on the bottom, insulation will be like wherever he's surrounded by this heating mat. There it is. I put it back on the wood. I actually took one of these little rugs and put the rugs on top of the wood. And then the shelter is on top of that. So I think we're good to go. I'm in the process of heating up some of this fried chicken for the traps. This is some Banquet frozen fried chicken. It's 5:30 p.m. right now. I need to scoop all of the litter boxes and give the cats fresh water. And right now is the first time in a week that I actually feel hungry. Like I feel like, oh, I'm hungry. I want to eat something, but I'm not going to do it until like I'm done doing that. I'm heating up 2 pieces of fried chicken, and one I'm going to split up among the 2 traps, and the other one I'm going to eat myself. I'm going to see if I could eat it. If not, I'm going to go back to what I had yesterday, which was the shrimp and the peas. But I think that's a good sign that I'm actually feeling hungry. Let me show you what I did over here. So this is where I had the trap last night. It was like here on the walkway, and I've had it here all day. And, you know, there's no sign of Sammy, but there was no sign of any animals because of the cold weather. Today I want to try something different. This is where I put the trap. So it's like along the front of my house, and there's actually a window here. And that window is like in the back room of downstairs. And there's actually a cat tower underneath the window. So a lot of times the cats will hang out in the cat tower underneath the window. There's also a really thick window ledge, and the cats will hang out on that window ledge. So when I was downstairs earlier, I just looked at the window and I just was like, I need to put a trap like near that window. I don't know why, but I was just like, I need to put a trap near that window. So I moved the trap here. I have not put the heater under the food yet. I need to do all that, but I'm hoping it might have better luck here than right in the middle of the walkway. I also grabbed this chair out of my greenhouse, and what I'd like to do later is spend some time sitting out here because I was listening to a video from Sonia Fitzpatrick, the pet psychic, who I actually had a reading with before Boo became an inside cat back in 2017. She gave me some really good insight with regards to the cats with Stella / Boo, with Stella / Simba and Boo at the time. So I was watching one of her videos about how to locate your lost cat or how to get your lost cat to come home. She says one of the things to do is just like sit outside after dark because if they're scared like Sammy is, they're just going to hide. She says they'll hide like a week. And she says, don't worry about them, like finding food. She said, you never realize how many people put food out for like stray cats, and that the best thing to do is like not worry about it. But sometimes what you want to do is just spend some time outside, like sit outside for a few hours and see if that will attract her. Maybe it'll calm her down enough to come out of hiding and, you know, come over to where you are. She said, of course, you have to do it in the middle of the night because they're so scared. That's the only time they leave wherever they're hiding. And it makes total sense for Sammy. So that's why I'm hoping she comes out tonight. So I'm going to probably try to sit out there maybe around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. I'm trying to think how I could hook up some form of heat. Like I have a heating pad. So I'm thinking, I don't know if I could run an extension cord somewhere or what. I got to see what I could do as far as an extension cord. So then I would be able to hook up a heating pad and at least like sit on a heating pad or put it in my jacket to keep me warm. I'm actually going to go do that now before it gets dark. I have to rummage around in the garage and look for a few things. I ate a piece of the fried chicken and I'm really not feeling so good after eating it. I have like indigestion, just almost like a heartburn feeling. It's just not comfortable. I definitely should have not eaten it. I have not had fried chicken since 2021 when I bought KFC to bait the trap for Ditto. Now, it did not work for him, but I'm hoping it works for Sammy. I've heard that you don't put out the skin or the bones, just take out the meat. That's what I did. I divided it among the two traps, and we'll see if it will attract her. This banquet fried chicken, I don't know, maybe it's because I roasted it in the oven, but it wasn't crispy. Like the coating was like soggy, and it was just like a lot of coating, just like a lot of mushy coating, and there's like no chicken. It's like all coating, no chicken. So this is what's left over. Boo had one little piece of the chicken. He liked it, so I gave him another little piece. He didn't like it. I'm having a gingin. This is a hard ginger candy. These are great for settling your stomach. Hopefully that'll do the trick. I just really regret eating that fried chicken. I feel like it's really affecting my energy. It's made me tired and just uncomfortable. Hello, Boo. Hello, Boo. You gonna hang out with me for a little bit? We're gonna lay down here. I just put some canned food in this heated food bowl as well as some sardines because let me tell you what happened. I looked at the security camera footage and Ox came over to the bowl and he was smelling it and looking at it and he's like, there's no food in it. So then he walked around to the front of the house where I used to have the trap and he's looking for food around there. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to put some food in this bowl. Hopefully he'll eat it. There will not be any left over. And then, if Sammy wants food, she'll go in the trap. The other option is that if he doesn't eat it, there will be some left over and maybe it will attract Sammy. I don't know. In either case, I did put some food here. I also realized that I have some freeze-dried chicken pieces. I don't think if I put freeze-dried chicken outside, it's going to freeze because it's already gone through the freeze-drying process. So I think that's okay to put out. So I put that out near the front trap as like a trail leading into it. So I'm hoping it will attract Sammy and she'll walk into the trap. And I'm thinking I need to maybe order another bucket of that because I'm down to not much at all. And the cats like to have it as a meal topper. So that's what's going on. I still have not scooped the litter or done the water yet. It is 8:37 p.m. and I just took the Christmas tree down to the road because they will actually do a rubbish pickup tomorrow morning. I saw my neighbor had put some stuff out, so I was like, oh, okay, I guess they're going to pick it up tomorrow. And I checked, and they are. So I dragged it along like the sidewalk and the driveway. So hopefully it'll leave like a trail scent for Sammy if she's coming from that direction. And then I also realized that I did not put any of the liquid smoke on the driveway coming from that direction. So I made a big trail of liquid smoke all the way down the driveway and, through here to the patio and actually back to the steps back here. I checked all the security camera footage. There's nobody out. Like, there's no animals out. Tonight is supposed to be a little bit warmer than last night, so maybe some critters will be out and about. The next few days are supposed to gradually get a little warmer, although at night they might get a bit colder. But then like starting either this weekend or early next week, it's going to get really cold. Like it's going to get way colder than it is now. So I'm definitely hoping that Sammy shows up sooner rather than later. I just put the Bluetooth speaker back outside on the trap and it's playing Ziggy meowing. It'll be playing for an hour. So maybe now that it's dark out, it will attract Sammy. So in this back area, there is a motion light. That if there's motion there, it will go on. So I hope that does not scare Sammy. Also here on the patio, that's another motion light and that will go on whenever there's motion. So again, I hope that doesn't scare Sammy and I'm just gonna hope for the best tonight. It is 8:47 p.m. Here's Boo and I'm taking a little bit of Pedialyte. I forgot to drink any today. And I'm making what I had for dinner yesterday, which was the peas and the shrimp, but I'm also making a little bit of rice with it. I'll probably have some rice, guacamole, peas, and shrimp. And I need to feed the cats. And I just wanted to check in. So I'm starting to feel like drained again, like worn out and drained. And I just finished all the litter and all the water and, you know, trying to... And I think it started this afternoon when I was like putting all the traps out, setting up extension cords, and just, you know, trying to figure out the strategy. And also eating that chicken did not help. I think eating that fried chicken set me back in my progress, right, Boo? I should not have had that fried chicken. So after I drink this little bit of Pedialyte, I'm going to have some more juice. I'm going to get the cats fed so they have their dinner, and then I just need to relax a little bit. Maybe I'll try to make some progress on a video. Mood-wise, I'm much better today, so I only took maybe 2 of these today, like in the morning. I find that's when I need it the most. These are the Rescue Remedy lozenges. I have not been taking these throughout the day like I have been previously. I think these Bach flower remedies have been working, but they work in such a subtle way. I did not have to use my aromatherapy today, my frankincense. This really, really helped me like yesterday and on previous days, but I did not feel the need to use it today. But now that I have it, I will dab a little bit of this on myself. Right now, I'm not feeling any anxiety. I'm feeling pretty relaxed. I think that nap that I took today just made such a huge difference. And just the fact that I could take a nap, just the fact that I was able to fall asleep and take a nap, massive, massive progress. More than anything right now, I'm just feeling like I need a rest. Like, I just feel like I need to rest. Like, I can't just constantly be not resting. And that's the problem that I'm having because, you know, Sammy's outside. I'm trying to get her back in. And everyone that I talked to, someone else just contacted me and told me that, yeah, the cats go out at 3 a.m. Now, I know that because Sammy's been out at 12:30, I've seen her, and she's been out at 1:30, I've seen her, and she's been out at 2:30 in the morning, I've seen her. So I know she's around between midnight and 3 a.m., and that makes it difficult for me because that's time that I should be asleep. That's time that I should be getting a really good night's sleep instead of checking security cameras and, you know, looking out windows and possibly even being outside. So that's what's making this really, really challenging. A few hours ago, I was really hungry and then I made the mistake of eating that fried chicken. But now I am kind of forcing myself to eat dinner. So I have some white rice, some peas, some cooked shrimp, some butter, and then a little bit of guacamole. I know these are all safe foods except for the white rice because I just made that today. I haven't had that on previous days. I know that all of these foods should make me feel better tomorrow if I eat these today because that's what's been happening. I'm just kind of trying to stick to foods that I know are going to have the nutrition that is going to help move me in a positive direction. I'm not really hungry right now, but I know I have to eat because I did not have enough calories today. So that is what I'm doing right now, and then I'm going to feed the cats. It is 10 p.m. and it started to snow a little while ago. There's actually snow accumulating on this cat bed, so I'm going to take that cat bed inside. And I have to go outside and grab the speaker that's on top of the trap. And I'm going to leave the traps out for a while, at least for a few more hours. I don't know. Because it's snowing now, I'm not going to sit out front. I thought I was going to sit out front on that chair that I put there. Maybe I'll sit in the greenhouse for a little bit. Like, I don't want to be out too long because I can feel myself getting worn down again, but I will give it a try. I would have to sit in the greenhouse with the door open. I don't know. It would be colder than it would be if the door was shut. But I do have the 2 little heaters in there, so I might give that a try. I need to clean up the kitchen first, though. It has been 5 days now since Stella passed, and I mean, it's also been a very tumultuous 5 days with, Sammy sneaking out and running away and then trying to get her back. But, I really feel like I need to take like a whole week to just kind of grieve and get back up to speed with things. Although I definitely think I'm doing pretty well. I'm not getting hit with sadness like I was. I mean, sometimes I do. I think I'm able to definitely handle it better than I was able to a few days ago. It's 11:15 p.m. I'm out in the greenhouse. It's actually pretty nice and warm in here, except I have the door open. Actually, you know what? I'm going to shut the plastic. I'll shut the plastic, and that'll keep most of the heat in, or some of the heat in at least. But the door is open. I don't know if Sammy's going to come by. I don't know how long I'm going to sit out here, but they said that this is something I should do. It is kind of nice and cozy out here. I've never been out here at this hour. I brought my computer with me. I brought my phone. Maybe I could get some work done. So, yeah, I plan on trying to be out here at least a half hour, if not a whole hour. I only lasted about 10 or 15 minutes in the greenhouse because it is just too cold out there, and I don't want to get more run down than I've been feeling, and I just don't think it's good for me to push it. So it's snowing a little bit heavier now. I am going to move the trap into the garage and go in the front yard, get the other trap, and move that into the garage, and then call it a night. I think it's more important for me to get a decent night's sleep. Also, I don't think Sammy's going to be out because it's snowing. The other day when it was snowing at night, Sammy was nowhere to be found. So that's what's going on. I do have all the cameras, so I will check them anytime I'm awake. If I happen to fall asleep for an hour and I wake up, then I'll check them. I'll just keep an eye on what's going on. But so far, I have not seen any animals. It's been really quiet. It's another really quiet night. It's 12:11 a.m. Here's Boo. And they have, what's outside? Oh, there's a truck. Oh, it's a snowplow. A snowplow and a salter. Putting salt on the roads and plowing the snow. Here's Simba, he's back on his favorite spot. And here's Splash, and this is Splash's favorite spot. Splash, can I have a pet? Hello, Splashy baby. So the cats all got crunchies, even the lucky 7. And there's some leftover food that nobody ate in the kitchen, so if they want to eat it later, they can. How you doing, Splashy? You okay? So it's funny how lately Splash and Simba have both been sleeping in this room. I just think it's really cute. Boo's been sleeping in the living room. How you doing, buddy? No more pets there? More pets for Splashy? I'm debating whether I want to sleep in the living room or in my bedroom. I got such a good nap on the sofa in the living room. Sometimes it's really, really comfortable. That sofa is so comfortable to lay on. So that's why I'm like, I wonder if I should sleep there tonight. It might be easier because, like, when I sleep on the bed, I really miss Stella because Stella was the one to wake me up there. She was the one to go to sleep with me there. But maybe it would be different if I slept on the sofa. I just took 1 drop each of those flower remedies, the new one. And I figure today could be a good opportunity to get some decent sleep since it's snowing. And then maybe if tomorrow night's a better night, I could spend some time outside, especially if I'm feeling a little bit better. Right, Splashy Buddy? I want to give Splash a hug, but I think he would flip out if I tried doing that. Splash, you gonna let me give you a hug? Splash, you want a hug? You want a hug? You want a squeezy? Let me give you a good squeeze, Splash. Let me squeeze you. You want a hug? Yeah, see? You don't want a hug. Simba, on the other hand, he lets me give him hugs and kisses. Right, Simba? Right, Simba? You got static electricity. You're full of static electricity right now, Simba. Pinch your cheeks. Pinch your cheeks. You're so cute. You're a pretty boy, Simba. Pretty boy. You look so handsome. You look so handsome, Simba. Handsome? 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 It is 12:37 a.m. I'm just about to go to bed. And look who's on my bed. It's Simba. How you doing, Simba? I don't know if he's going to stay here, but he's hanging out here right now. I just checked all of the security cameras. There's no activity on any of them other than the snowplow going up and down the road. So it's probably going to be a quiet night as far as outdoor activities. What do you smell, Simba? I wonder if he smells Stella. Because that would be like where Stella liked to lay a lot. Okay. I can't remember if I changed my sheets before she went to the hospital or after she went to the hospital. I think I changed them after she went to the hospital. Maybe he's smelling some of the Lucky Seven because Ziggy, Nancy, and Richard were on the bed today. Maybe he's smelling them. Right, Simba? You gonna go to bed? You gonna go sleepy? No, you know what? You and Splash are gonna be up all night playing, which is great. I don't have a toy here, plus I'm tired. I need to get some sleep. Go play with Splash. If you play with Splash, Simba, you guys will have a good time, okay? You want me to get a wand? Let me see if there's a wand here. This was one of Stella's favorite games. Put a wand under a blanket. She loved playing like this. He's going to chew the string. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.